This week on SpokeTV, we learn about a talented pianist who's overcome some major obstacles.
She is born at 23 weeks.
They told my birth mom, Stacy, that if I didn't respond within 48 hours, they were going to basically let me go.
And we discuss the rising issue of print versus digital journalism. Plus, Spenny makes an appearance at Conestoga College to give away some interesting prizes.
Just want to have fun and do my thing.
I am Shruti Rajagopalan.
And I'm Jacob Martin, and this is SpokeTV, your source for local weekly news produced by second-year journalism broadcast students from Conestoga College.
A local organization called One Roof that helps at-risk youth is looking for alternative housing for the 10 teens who are being asked to leave the supportive houses they already live in. SpokeTV's Carmen Ponciano looks into what is being done.
At-risk youth that once had the opportunity to go to several supportive homes won't have that option come mid-March. One Roof Youth Services, who provides youth with outreach programs and essential services, faces a challenge as 2 of their supportive homes will close and 10 youth living there will be asked to move out. They hoped, once the funding they were getting from a separate foundation ran out, that the region would be able to pick it up. But their pitch for funding was not approved.
The region went through a process redesigning our Community Homeless Prevention Initiative CHIPPY supportive housing program, and so it was an open RFP process for those that were currently receiving funding and those that were interested in receiving funding in the future. And so there were folks who applied for that, and there were people who made it through and who didn't make it through our process.
However, once the house is closed down in mid-March, where these kids are going to go is the big question.
Sandy Dietrich Bell, Chief Executive Officer for One Roof Youth Services, says that they are working on finding alternative housing for the youth living there.
Some of them are resigned to just coming back to this shelter. It's where they feel comfortable, it's where they feel safe. Other options might potentially mean adult shelters, housing if we can find it for them, but it's difficult to find landlords that are willing to rent to young people. So it's looking a little bleak. My concern is that some of them will end up on the street because we won't have beds available here.
The organization would need about $500,000 to run both houses properly.
It would be nice to be able to use the data that we've collected over the last year and several months to convince the powers that be that it is a successful pilot and that it can really change some lives.
For SpokeTV, I'm Carmen Ponciano.
Road closures due to LRT construction have not only inconvenienced residents, but also business owners. SpokeTV's Shruti Rajagopalan finds out more about the recent road closures in Uptown Waterloo.
Another major road closure because of the LRT construction in the region is causing headaches for the business owner. King Street in Uptown Waterloo between Erb and William Street closed last week. This section of the street is expected to be closed for approximately 9 months. Businesses are to remain open and accessibility by this closure has business owners nervous about their livelihood. Businesses along King Street, which were told last year that the area would be closed for just 4 months, will face construction for 5 more months. The Regional Council is working along with the Grand Link Company to get the LRT construction done as soon as possible. Some point in the next 10 months, the intersection between King and Erb Street may also be closed. Andy Cox, owner of King Street Cycles, said that he is upset that most of the businesses around did not get a clear notice about the closure from the Regional Council.
I wish there was more communication more often with the businesses up here. Most of the businesses are kind of in the dark as to how long it's actually going to be.
The Grand Link Company said that the delay was because they are not only focusing on the wet utility work, but they're also working on the upgrade of the underground services, reconstruct of the road, and initiate LRT tracks. Councillor Tom Galloway, who chairs the committee overseeing Light, said that there are no plans to compensate businesses for losses or inconvenience caused by the construction.
This is not anything any municipality does. Construction is something that has to be done.
For now, business owners can expect work in the area to be complete by Christmas. That is, unless plans change again. For SpokeTV, I am Shruti Rajagopalan. With the Guelph Mercury stopping its print edition, many people are wondering if print journalism is dying. After the break, journalists debate the future of newspapers. Conestoga College held its annual X-rated bingo last week in the sanctuary. It was packed with students, and the event was hosted by one of Canada's popular stand-up comedians. SpokeTV's Sarah McKeever reports from the scene.
There are few things most college students love more than a night out with some pals to grab a few drinks. And there are few things Spencer Rice likes to do more than tell a few jokes for a crowd.
Well, just make sure you take the nose ring out because we don't need female mutilation happening.
The two come together for Conestoga Students Incorporated XXX Bingo. Hosting the event is Spenny, best known for his lead role in the Canadian comedy show Kenny vs. Spenny.
I love the show. There's humor in it. There's the bingo. Everybody loves playing bingo.
Tonight's event has been widely anticipated as this is the second year in a row that Spenny has hosted. Tickets are sold out and the bar is open for business. The show gives students an opportunity to play some bingo, and the prizes are all adult-themed toys.
You know, it's a path that I've chosen. I do a lot of other things as well as sex toy bingo, and I'm just very grateful that, I think we're sold out tonight, which is nice, and just want to have fun and do my thing.
Conestoga Students Incorporated events coordinator Samantha Schweer says that having Spenny headline the show has drawn a big interest.
We're pretty excited about the turnout this year. I think the momentum and just having Spenny here for the second time around, probably a bit of word of mouth from the first show, has helped a lot.
CSI hosts many late night events throughout the season, but this was the last one for this year, and it certainly went out with a bang.
I mean, sex toy bingo and alcohol, just perfect combination, it really is.
For SpokeTV, I'm Sarah McKeever.
With over 10 craft breweries in the area already, it is obvious to see that they are a rapidly growing trend here in Ontario. These local businesses are thriving off of the rising popularity.
As time goes on, we see more and more of them opening up. Craft breweries are everywhere, from bigger, more well-known breweries that have been around for a while like Wellington in Guelph or Steam Whistle in Toronto, to smaller microbreweries like McLean's Ales in Hanover or Block 3 in St. Jacobs. There is definitely plenty to go around. Dan Schmidt from Royal City Brewery in Guelph says that people like craft breweries because they have more of a local vibe.
I think people want to, experience a little bit more in their beer drinking. And second, people like supporting local business. I think people like the idea of that, giving money to a local business as opposed to a big conglomerate from the States or from Europe. So I think those two things kind of fuel why craft beer has become so popular, especially in this area.
The newest addition to this trend is Brothers Alehouse in downtown Guelph, which will be opening up in the spring. For SpokeTV, I'm Jacob Martin.
The future of print journalism is a growing discussion as newspapers like the Guelph Mercury close down. Earlier this week, I sat down with Larry Cornies, a journalism professor at Conestoga College, and Chris Hussey, a second-year journalism student and the editor of Spoke newspaper, to find out their thoughts on this issue. The topic today, we're going to be talking about print journalism and its slow decline. Basically, we're just going to talk about a whole bunch of different, I'm going to ask you guys a whole bunch of questions. Some experts say that journalism got its start as an expression of freedom, like freedom of speech. What do you guys think about the transition to digital media and basically like what its impact has on that freedom of speech?
In some ways, I think it's really exciting because we're obviously getting a lot of stories that might not have ever been told, especially considering how journalism is really in the hands of everyone right now. Where that kind of presents some problems is that it gets really watered down, and it's like the music industry in a lot of ways, in that it can be hard to find those good tracks and that good music per se. So I think it's a similar thing to the journalism industry for sure.
And Larry, your thoughts?
Yeah, Chris makes a good point. It's in the hands of many now. And when you get things in the hands of many, you get more stories told, that's true. But you also sometimes get them told at a shallower level. And the challenge, I think, for digital media is to kind of, push down below to the meaning of stories. There's also the added problem of a lot of journalists not having the legal or institutional clout that the old media, the legacy media, used to have in order to push for stories and push for answers.
Do you guys think that if this does transition into like a completely digital platform where all news will basically be in your smartphone, on your tablet or something like that, would you just be more prone to just going straight to that, or would you go out of your way to look for the physical newspaper to hold to read your news?
I think, like Larry mentioned, a lot of the more in-depth traditional journalism that we've come to expect is still in print.
Yeah.
it's moving towards online, I think, in digital forms, but I think for the most part it is still in print. With that said, my generation, and I know me specifically, I find a lot of my news even on social media sites and blogs. So I think that's definitely the future. I think we're just still in that transition period right now.
Yeah. And sorry, and then just to continue on that, as the editor of the college newspaper, do you think that if you would, with the college newspaper, put it into some sort of digital thing, digital platform as well, like Spoke Online or something like that, where it's no more print, it's just
the online version?
Just the online version, like an app or something like that?
I think Larry's actually mentioned this in our classes a couple times. I think that's where it's going to go eventually, like all other kinds of journalism. We're definitely starting to do a lot of really interesting and cool stuff. One thing this week I think that's being worked on is the idea of Conestoga cribs. So it's certainly not typical journalism at all, but it's kind of adapting to those changes and trying to do new and exciting things.
Awesome. And Larry, with a little bit more of a traditional view on it.
Yeah, although I think, my view isn't a whole lot different than Chris's. I think there's a generation of journalists just a little bit older than me that cry great rivers of tears about the demise of newspapers. I think a lot of journalists just like to tell stories, and a lot of consumers like to read great stories. I think for a lot of consumers and for a lot of journalists, the platform really doesn't matter as long as the story is there, as long as it entertains or informs you. It's going to be consumed.
I would like to thank Larry and Chris for talking to me about this issue. We also want to hear your thoughts on the issue, so leave your comments on our Twitter page @SpokeTV. Do you find playing the piano difficult? After the break, we'll meet a woman who can not only play, but became a musical savant against all odds.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to play an instrument? What about ukulele? SpokeTV's Michelle Ramos looks into a local ukulele group.
For those looking to learn a new instrument free of charge, the Ukulele Jam Night in Cambridge offers a fun learning experience for both beginners and advanced players. The Idea Exchange runs a jam night on Tuesdays at the Cambridge Queen's Square Library and at the Hespeler location on Tannery Road, Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. New members are always welcome to come learn some songs and jam out with more seasoned players. The Queen's Square location recently adopted the Jam Night from Hespeler, and both leaders and participants alike are excited to be a part of the fun. Experienced club member and part-time musical instructor Claude Belanger talks about how the Queen's Square group has come into being.
The ukulele has sort of risen in popularity lately, and at the Hesper branch of the library, they started a uke jam night there, and I went to that and enjoyed myself. And there were a number of people who are living in the Galt area who thought, gee, I wish we had one at the Galt branch of the Idea Exchange as well. And so they put up a poster announcing a drop-in ukulele jam night. And I came to that, and since I was one of the ones who had quite a bit of experience playing, I sort of by default became one of the leaders of the group.
Beginner Julia Langley says the program has many benefits for those who choose to join in on the fun.
It's very educational. We've learned lots of different songs and just all sorts of different techniques and chords, and it is very good, I think, for the social aspect too, because you're around people that are interested in the same things.
Anyone at any age is welcome to come jam out, as there are no age restrictions on music.
So if you're looking for some local entertainment in the Tri-Cities, check out Ukulele Jam Night held by the Idea Exchange. For SpokeTV, I'm Michelle Ramos.
Thanks, Michelle. There are a lot of musicians in the region, but some of them face more challenges than others. SpokeTV's Lindsay Griesbach spent a day with a Fergus musician, Kara Shaw.
She was 2.5 when she started playing the piano.
She is on the autism spectrum, very mild autism, what they really refer to as Asperger's syndrome, but she's also a musical savant, and the statistics say that Kara is one of 100 musical savants around the world.
Her ability to be able to hear any piece of music and to play it back is absolutely incredible.
Playing the piano takes patience, talent, and a lot of practice, but there is one important thing pianists often take for granted: eyesight. Not only is 26-year-old Kara Shaw autistic, but she was born completely blind. Being raised in a musical family, however, she didn't let that hold her back.
I played Pomp and Circumstance for my own kindergarten graduation, and then when I was 6, I played for my kindergarten teacher's wedding.
The piano made sound and that kept her attention, so I could keep her attention longer while I tried to figure out if she could see the keys. I don't think she ever saw them, but it didn't take long for her to learn how to play.
A flat.
Okay. The tom? The small tom?
It's an A.
Okay.
It's an F sharp.
Okay.
I like playing piano because it sounds angelic. It makes me feel happy, and I guess like a stress reliever.
What are some of your favorite songs to play?
Once Upon a Dream's one of them. A Whole New World.
I walked with you once upon a dream.
She was fascinated with chords, and her hands were so tiny she couldn't play a triad with one hand. It took 2 hands. And so she would play the chords with both hands and she would sing the melody. And when she got better, she would try to get more notes, and if she couldn't reach them, she would play with her elbows, or she'd get her feet up on the keyboard and she would be playing feet and hands to get the notes that she wanted to get. She would do whatever it took to get the sound she wanted.
After having 3 healthy boys and then a daughter born with cystic fibrosis, Dave and Linda Shaw decided that they couldn't risk having another child, so they went to Children's Aid to adopt one with special needs.
There she is, born at 23 weeks.
They told my birth mom, Stacy, that if I didn't respond within 48 hours, they were going to basically let me go. You know, let me die kind of thing.
When they phoned and said they had Kara, she was premature and she was blind, and that was all I knew, but I knew that that was the baby. I just right away it felt right.
She was born, at 23 weeks and so tiny, and yet her spirit is so large. Yep.
This is a scene from Breaking Bad.
Kara just has a different way of looking at life. It's simple, it makes perfect sense, and I think we all need to learn to live like Kara does.
She's always up. Kara is always, always up. Love having her part of the show, her positive energy, and just, she just adds to it. And I just love the fact when I come up behind her, she knows it's me. I don't have to say a word.
It's a crazy family, 5 kids, and they all play musical instruments, but 3 of them doing it professionally, so. I figure if I didn't give my kids anything else, I gave them music.
Do you know the signs of a stroke? After the break, we show you what you should look out for during Heart and Stroke Month.
Researchers at the University of Waterloo have found that coaches putting pressure on athletes could push them to use performance-enhancing drugs. SpokeTV's Alex Spears.
2 researchers from the University of Waterloo warn that sports coaches with a win-at-all-cost approach may deliver an unintended message to their athletes. A win-at-all-cost approach may lead athletes to an obsession in their chosen sport, and that obsession may lead to a more easygoing attitude towards PEDs. However, not all coaches have the same mentality. Waterford High School football coach Derek Roundtree says that his coaching style is more about building his team to be prepared for an adult life, and that he knows his players are students first. He also said he understands that some players would like to make a career out of athletics, and that his advice is to hit the books and put in hard work.
We always stress that it's student-athlete for a reason, so student comes first. At the same time, though, I always make sure that sports are a priority. It's all about time management, right?
As far as university athletes go, Waterloo receiver Blair McKay, who played for Roundtree in high school, said that the Warriors have a players coach, and he feels he's being pushed more to excel in the classroom. He said because of that, the team has never thought of using PEDs, but that they use natural sources of protein instead.
Well, you can get your nutrients from food, and a lot of guys on the team do that.
guys on the team, they mostly just go, if they are taking supplements, just protein, just like regular person in the gym. Nothing serious, like no one's on PEDs or anything like that.
McKay also said that nobody would think of using PEDs because the Warrior motto is to win with integrity. So while some coaches may be delivering an unintended message to students, some coaches get the message across just fine. For SpokeTV, I'm Alex Pierce.
Thanks, Alex. February is a Heart and Stroke month. SpokeTV's Ali Saber-Payton talks to the experts to find out how to keep your heart healthy.
February is Heart and Stroke Month. There are around 35 million people in Canada, and an estimated 1.3 million Canadians live with heart disease. In 2011, more than 66,000 Canadians died from heart disease or a stroke. That's one person every 7 minutes. Heart disease and strokes cost the Canadian economy more than $20.9 billion every year. SpokeTV talked to Hilary Herron of the Kitchener Heart and Stroke Foundation, and she told us the symptoms of a stroke and what we should look out for.
So face, is it drooping is one. Arms, can you raise them both? Speech, is it slurred? Time to call 911. So the face drooping, the arms, can you raise them both up? Speech, is it slurred? So those are the three major signs of stroke.
Camelia Bustard is a third-year nursing student. She lets us know what happens to your body when you're having a stroke and what you can do to prevent heart disease.
Like little plaques breaking off and causing clots, pretty much. And those clots will get stuck in the vessels of the heart, called the coronary arteries, or sometimes in the brain, and that causes an ischemic stroke. There are probably 4 main things that you want to do to prevent coronary artery disease. First one is nutrition, exercise, staying away from smoking and drinking excessively.
Lift weights and have a healthy diet, or do some cardio. By working out 3 hours a week, you can reduce the risk of heart disease, having a stroke, diabetes, and high blood pressure by 30%. For SpokeTV, I'm Ali Saber-Payton.
Thanks, Ali. To follow up on how to live a healthy lifestyle, I checked in with a local personal trainer and channeled my inner Gordon Ramsay to make a delicious and easy rocket salad.
Welcome to Spoke Talks Health and Fitness with personal trainer Josh Bauer. This week, Jacob Martin learns the benefits of cycling for a warm-up, and he teaches you how to make an arugula salad.
Hi, I'm Jacob Martin, and I'm here with Josh, and he's going to show me the benefits of riding a bicycle. So, how are we going to go about this today?
All right, Jacob, so we're going to start with a nice light warm-up here. Get the heart rate rising and get essentially the joints nice and lubricated so you can have a good workout later on. So basically what you want to do here is keep this pace going for roughly about 5 to 10 minutes going. If you'd like, you can increase the intensity there, put a little more strain on your muscles, and basically with that you're going to just increase your heart rate a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
It's great for any age, any gender, because it's a non-weight bearing exercise, so it's really easy on the joints as well. And you can do this even at home, my friend. So very well-rounded warm-up exercise there, really get the heart rate going, so very beneficial for you.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm Jacob, and today I will be showing you how to make a rocket salad. First off, the ingredients that you will need for this salad are as follows: arugula, cucumbers, goat cheese, carrots, cherry tomatoes, red onions, a dressing of your choice, and chicken breasts. Make sure that all of your veggies have been washed and prepped, and then marry them all together into a bowl. Cook the chicken breasts in a hot pan with some oil, salt and pepper to taste. Slice the chicken breast into strips, dish the salad out into desired bowls, and enjoy. Delicious.
Sorry, what did you think of my accent?
Don't do that again. So how was the salad?
The salad was great. I really liked it, and everybody else did too.
So that's all we have for you this week, and thanks for watching Spoke TV. I'm Shruti Rajagopalan.
And I'm Jacob Martin. For more news and information, check us online at spoketv.ca or follow us on Twitter.
How long did it take to do the salad?
It was only about like 20 minutes, maybe at most. It was just really easy.